Happy 20th birthday!
What do you say, Jem?
Happy birthday. Look forward to seeing you here in 20 years' time.
Wonderful to have you here. What a lovely day, atmospheric day I think it is out there. I say a lovely day of course because it has moisture in the air, something that we'll be obviously craving in the decades to come. And we will look back arguably on this New Year's Eve as the last New Year's Eve of collective moisture. One of the many offers here at Trinity Buoy Wharf. The last stretch of dockland, free of course of the glass and chrome of corporate incursion. Now, thank you. This is, of course, the absolute home space of Longplayer, but Longplayer exists in many different ways and on many different platforms. We start, of course, with enormous thanks to Jem Finder, the wonderful sound artist, composer, maverick of the technological airwaves, who, of course, came up with the idea of Longplayer and first played it, launched it into the world exactly now, 20 years ago, 31st December 1999. Now he is the first and the largest thanks that I'm going to make today, and on the basis of that incredible necessity that we have to thank Jem, I'd like to give him a present now, which I would like him to open now, wherever he is, because it's directly linked to what we're talking about. Is Jem in the... Yes, he is. Come on, Jem. So let's, Jem, please open that present.
Excuse me. Sorry, I'll remove that. Thank you, Gareth.
It makes sense, right?
Hello.
This is a gift to you and, of course, to the Longplayer community.
Messages to a Future, 1999 Redstone Diary. How very beautiful.
It is the Redstone Diary from 1999. It's not mine, it's unused. It's a perfectly new Redstone Diary from exactly 20 years ago. The great Redstone Diary series, of course, Julian Rothenstein to thank for that. Messages to a Future. What is Longplayer? It's a message to a future. Now, Jem had this incredible idea. He created Longplayer, and of course, he couldn't do it solo. And for that, we have, of course, to thank the extraordinary Archangel for making this whole project possible. From Archangel's extraordinary vision onwards, we have the Longplayer Trust to thank for keeping it going into the future, while also celebrating it in the present. I'd like to thank everyone on the Longplayer Trust, but also to draw your attention particularly today to Arne, to John Kay, to John B, and to our wonderful producer Sarah, who's sitting at the desk, for making this particular day possible. And of course, thank you all very much for coming. Thanks to Trinity Buoy Wharf for hosting us here today. And we, of course, are very grateful that they are hosting us into the future as well. An incredible range of offers, as I said, here at Trinity Buoy Wharf, so do please enjoy the surrounding area. Now, we are entering the 20th year of continuous play of Longplayer, and we have an incredible lineup of events for you. We move the extraordinary Longplayer Day created by James and Ella and the whole Goldsmiths team up to Yorkshire Sculpture Park on the 20th of June for a dawn to dusk, 12-hour exploration of that incredible park with performances and music and listening and interventions across the landscape on the 20th of June. We stay in the countryside in the summer months, and we go on the 24th of July to the Electromagnetic Field Festival near Ledbury, an incredible gathering of mavericks, visionaries, geeks, hackers, nerds, who will take Longplayer's code, turn it inside out, and create incredible things like Blue Peter for the 21st century in the fields of Ledbury on the 24th of July until the 27th of July. We then take a bit of time off in August, and we come back on the 26th of September, back to the heart of London, to the great hall of discussion, debate, dissent, imaginative possibility, Conway Hall, where we present the 12-hour Longplayer Assembly, where 24 incredible, internationally acclaimed speakers, thinkers, artists, writers, makers of all kinds will be speaking in a relay across 12 hours in a sort of baton handing on of our visionary ideas for the future to the audience, and of course to the global audience, thanks to our streaming partner to be announced in the new year. We then close the year formally with an unbelievably unprecedented, visionary, I'm using the word visionary because that's what we're in. We're in a visionary landscape with Longplayer, a visionary undertaking called Sonic Ray, which will start on the 29th of October and run till the 6th of December. That's all I'm going to say about it at the moment. Sonic Ray, again, enormous thanks in a 20-year bracket to Archangel for undertaking their support of that to make that possible. A leap into the unknown for Longplayer, absolutely in keeping with its DNA as a creative way of thinking and being in the present for the future. It coexists in all time frames. It draws on historic sources of music and possibility, collective activity, presents it in the time we're living in, and offers it to the future. What form will it take in the future? That's anyone's guess, because how many human constructions still exist in their original form 1,000 years on? That's why the Longplayer Trust exists, to keep this incredible project going into the future. It costs something to keep Longplayer going. In fact, it costs a very helpfully round figure of £36,500 a year to keep Longplayer going. It's £100 a day. That includes all its costs just to keep it as it is. But of course, we want to expand the possibilities of Longplayer, so that will cost, of course, more. So why are we here today? We're here to enjoy the incredible Prosecco beer and bagels that Arne and John brought for us. We're here to celebrate the building of Longplayer, the space and the community it's part of. We're also here to give hard cash in a capitalist exchange directly to Sarah at the desk. We now have a card machine, we have a box, we can give old currency, we can probably take checks as well, or we can operate a barter economy where you literally take something from your coat or bag and give it to us, and then we will sell it on Brick Lane before the end of the afternoon. We will take any form of exchange that will support the ongoing project of Longplayer. We're thinking, because we're about to enter that year, we're thinking that a nice round 20 sounds good. You can add to that a number of zeros to see as you see fit, depending on the size and nature of your wallet. Do please enjoy, of course, the rest of the afternoon, and of course the eve and the year to come. Whatever it brings, some of it's in our control. The wisdom of Solomon tells us that we can change things that we can change. We have to accept things we can't. But one thing we can change and directly affect for the collective positivity of the world and all things living on it is that Longplayer exists as a way of thinking into the distant future, a way of other forms of being, literally being heard within our homes, our workspaces, our cities, and across the continents. It's a form of deep thinking for the future, allowing us to prioritise things that sadly those that hold the reins of power currently seem not to consider important. So do please support Longplayer, support each other, support the earth, think about the collective space that we inhabit with other species, all of whom will benefit from the deep thinking that we can hopefully bring to bear in the coming year. Thank you very much for coming, and in the spirit of a very optimistic toast, rather than an elegiacal toast, which I do not want to necessarily encourage, I'd like to raise the glass to Longplayer, to all of us, to the future. Thank you very much. Hear, hear.
Encore. Well, I feel 20 years has gone, on the one hand very quickly and on the other hand very slowly, but that's kind of the nature of time. But what surprises me maybe is how much the world's changed, and really that change seems to have been an exponential thing, and I'd say in the last 4 years it's exponentially changed very much for the worse. And so I guess 20 years ago I was thinking, if I'd thought 20 years ahead, I'd have thought so without any doubt that we'd still be around here where we are now, 20 years later. But today I find myself thinking 20 years ahead with considerable doubt as to what the world will be like in 20 years. So I look forward actually in hope and with some optimism that we can kind of collectively as the not just the community of Longplayer, but our kids, our grandkids, turn the ship around, as it were. And I feel that whereas 20 years ago I'd have thought I wanted to look after Longplayer, which was something that was just beginning. It was a dawning realization that I'd started something I then had to look after. Now I feel it's more important to look after the world in a way that we're still around to listen to Longplayer. So in that sense, Longplayer's not the important thing for me anymore. But, so with hope and optimism onwards, and Happy New Year.